everybody, nice to see you, kind of see you again. Hey, I was wondering if you can try and guess what story I want to do today. I'm going to give you a couple of clues. First I'm going to put my hat on, and then I'm going to put another hat on, and another hat, and another one. Are you still counting? What am I up to? Sometimes at Nature Kindy, I like to tell this story and I borrow everybody's hat so I can do the story. I don't know if you've ever heard it before. I think that's all I can wear before they collapse. Do you know what story I'm going to read? I found it in my garage. It's really, really old because it's from when I was little. It's called Caps for Sale, and it's about a man who tries to sell caps. And he wears them on his head. This is the way he sells his caps. So I thought I'd read you that story, seeing as how sometimes we act it out at kindy. You ready? Let's call everybody over to our mat. Toru fa. Tamariki ma haere ki te whare ki. Tamariki ma haere ki te whare ki. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of grey caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight so as not to upset the caps, and as he went along he called, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the grey caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and every monkey was a grey or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you! You must give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Oh, oh, oh, ah, ah, ah." At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the grey caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the grey caps, then the brown caps and the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town, calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" The end. Yesterday, Oscar sent me a little video message to tell me that he was really keen to listen to the Battle of the Mountains story. So I had a look in my car, and I had a look in my book bag, and I had a look in my bookshelf, and I had a look in my book cupboard. Guess what? No Battle of the Mountains. So I'm wondering if it might be in the book box that might be sitting inside Joe's shed. So, because I didn't have Battle of the Mountains, I had to do a bit of thinking, a bit of problem solving, and try and work out what I could do. So I found some triangles, some pieces of wood about this shape that I thought I could make into some mountains, and we could tell a story using them. And you can see I got a little bit of the paint, a little bit of the pen, a little bit all over me. But I've got the stories, but of course I need someone to help me tell the story, so I thought I'd ask my children to give me a hand. And maybe if you're at home and you want to do the story of the Battle of the Mountains, maybe you can find some paper that's shaped like triangles, and you can make your own mountains so you can tell the story. So now we're going to try and tell the story of the Battle of the Mountains. We've got the mighty Tongariro, he's the mighty chief. And my children Vina and Mackie are going to help me. Once upon a time, in the middle of Te Ika a Maui, by a lake Taupo, there lived 7 mountains. In the middle was the mighty chief Tongariro, the biggest mountain. And he was in love with a beautiful lady mountain called Pihanga, and they were married together. They lived together for many years very happily and had 2 children, Ruapehu and Ngarohoi, who lived between them. They were surrounded by some other mountains, Taranaki with his cloak of snow on his back, Tutoaki and Tauhara. But gradually things became a little more tense in the area as the other male mountains all tried to challenge Tongariro for Lady Pihanga. They were all angry with Tongariro and they wanted Lady Pihanga for themselves. Taranaki with his cloak of snow on his back started to challenge and fight Tongariro. He threw rocks and lava at Tongariro and fought him. Tutoaki and Tauhara joined in the battle as well, and there was lava flowing between all of the mountains as they fought and fought. The battle raged for days, and the earth began to shake as the battling mountains created a big earthquake. One of the mountains crept behind Tongariro and tried to sneak up on him behind, and tried to spew lava all over him. But Lady Pihanga called out a warning. Look out, behind you, Tongariro. Tongariro managed to dodge out of the way, and the mountain couldn't get him with the lava. The battle raged for many, many days, and there were boulders being thrown, lava fired in the air, and clouds of smoke until finally Tongariro emerged victorious. Tongariro won the battle with his strength and courage. As the sun went down and the moon came out, the other mountains retreated under darkness. Taranaki retreated all the way to the west, out to the coast. And as Taranaki went to the west, he carved a big river into the hill, into the earth, and he rested out by the coast, by the water. Lady Pihanga stayed where she was with Tongariro and her 2 children, and Putuaki and Tauhara each retreated to the east, carving big ravines in the earth as they moved away. But as the sun came up, the mountains became frozen in their spots, and that's where they are to this day forward. And if you go down to Lake Taupo, you will see Tongariro, Ruapehu, Ngāruhoi, and Lady Pihanga. And that is the story of the Battle of the Mountains. So this is a song called Wriggle, 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 and it's a really cool song for singing with someone else because you need to have an echo in your song. So maybe you can sing it with your mum or your dad or your brother or your sister. Hopefully you've got someone in your house with you that you can sing it with. Okay.
Or a toy.
Good sing it with a toy. Yeah. Get your hands ready. So I'll be first and then you copy me, you be my echo, okay?
Okay.
Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Flap, flap, flap.
Flap, flap, flap.
Roll, roll, roll.
Roll, roll, roll.
Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
Fly up high.
Fly up high.
Down you drop.
Down you drop.
Pitter, patter, pitter, patter.
Pitter, patter, pitter, patter.
And stop. We do that part together. Are you ready? Now you got the hang of it, we're going to do it a little bit faster. Toru, fa. Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Flap, flap, flap.
Flap, flap, flap.
Roll, roll, roll.
Roll, roll, roll.
Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
Fly up high.
Fly up high.
Down you drop.
Down you drop.
Pitter, patter, pitter, patter.
Pitter, patter, pitter, patter.
And
Stop.
Nice work. This time I might sing it loud, which means
I sing it loud.
and if I sing it really quiet, means
I sing it really quiet.
it's a bit of a challenge. Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
Flap, flap, flap. Roll, roll, roll.
Roll, roll, roll.
Fly up high.
Fly up high.
Down you drop. And
Stop.
thank you for coming and listening to our story and our song today. We hope you enjoyed it. We had a story about a man who was selling lots of caps. We had a story of the Battle of the Mountains that raged for days and days and days, and then we finished with a bit of a wriggle, wriggle, wriggle song. If you've got any other stories or songs that you would like us to sing or read, just let me know and we'll do our best to see if we can find them for you. Alright, we hope you're enjoying listening to these things and hope you're having fun with your family and whānau at home. So we just want to say goodbye.
Ka kite anō.
We want to say ka kite, see you again soon. Bye.